What's up, guys? It's Dwayne from mountainbuck.com. Join me on the hunt for the best hunting products. And guys, today we're checking out the Vikeri Mini trail camera. Now, this is already the #1 new release in trail cameras on Amazon, so I definitely wanted to check it out. It shoots 20 megapixel photos and 1080p videos, and we're gonna test this thing out today. So hook me up and hit subscribe, and let's get started. Of course, we have the instruction manual right here. A little mount if you choose to mount it with a mount plate like this. Strap for the tree, USB cable, 4 AA batteries, and the camera itself. And here it is right out of the box, guys. You can see that subtle green on there, some leaves on there to aid in the concealment with the camo on here. And this is a smaller size camo. Obviously, it's the M9, it's the mini version, the mini Vikeri on here, which I wanted to get an understanding of what that actually meant. And they show an image on the Amazon description that says mini enough. Well, I'm not really sure what mini enough means. Might be mini enough for you, but might not be mini enough for me. I'm really not sure. So I wanted to look into this further. So what I have here is a couple regular Vikeri cameras. I have the regular main Vikeri here, and then the mini next to it. And of course, we also have the Vikeri 4K and the mini next to it. So it is a little bit smaller. But I also wanted to point out some of the true micro cameras that are out there on the market today. So we do have the Moultrie micro camera right here, which this is a legit small camera, really nice camo on there, which you'll have a hard time spotting that unless you're really looking hard for it. So I just wanted to line these up, compare the sizes, just to give you an idea of what you're looking at here. So we have the main Vikeri cameras, standard cameras, the mini, and then the Moultrie Micro 42 here. And you can see while the mini is smaller than the standard trail camera, it's not quite the size of the Micro 42. Let's open this thing up. So we do have a different style latch on here than we're used to with the Vikeri cameras. You got the one latch here to open up the door. You have a small screen on here. It's nice to have a small LCD screen on here. That will come in handy when viewing your photos and videos and, of course, going through the settings. We do have a spot for these 4 AA batteries, which is nice to give you the batteries. They also give you a 32 gigabyte micro SD card in here. And that's why I don't like the micro SD cards, because you drop them and then they're gone forever if you're out there in the woods. All right, let's fire this thing on and run through some settings. All right, we have our settings exactly where we want them. Let's get this outside and run some tests. All right, our Vikeri Mini is all set on the tree and looking good on there, and it's time for our trigger speed analysis. And what I do for this is I set up about 10 yards in front of the camera, run right by, and see how long it takes that camera to pick me up. Now, this camera says it has a 0.2 second trigger speed, which is really fast. Let's find out. Okay, so next up is the detection range test, and how I do this one is I have 4 cones set up at varying distances. We have one at 10 yards, 20 yards, 25, and then out at 30 yards. And what I do is I walk by at a nice leisurely pace and see how far out this camera is going to get me. Now, the Vikeri Mini has a 65-foot detection range, so it should be picking me up at that second cone at 20 yards. Let's find out. All right, our trigger speed and detection range tests are all set. Let's check that footage and see how we made out. Here are the results from the trigger speed analysis, and as you can see, the Vikeri Mini barely caught me as I exited the frame here. That is definitely not a 0.2 second trigger speed on there, it's more like a 0.8 or 0.9 second trigger. Now for the detection range results. The camera picked me up at 10 yards, but it did not catch me at the 20-yard mark. And it should have. It's listed as having a 65-foot detection range. Let's check the image quality. Here is an example of daytime image quality, and this does have some decent image quality here. It looks pretty clear. I've blown that image up a bit here, and you can see it isn't super clear when you enlarge it, but decent quality image overall. This is an example of the daytime video quality. Again, this is pretty good video quality here. I don't know that I'd list it as 1080p, but it will do. Take a listen to the audio quality. You could hear those birds chirping nice and clearly in the background, but there's a slight dull white noise type sound overlaying each video. Here's an example of the nighttime image quality, and again, pretty good here. The deer shows up well, is clear, and the area is illuminated nicely. Here's the nighttime video quality. Again, good quality video at night here. If you had a nocturnal buck, you'd definitely be able to see all the points he's got going on and how that rack is looking. Here are the infrared lights the camera gives off at night. So the first bright flash there is what takes the photo, and then you have those very subtle LED red lights show up for the video portion, and you really can't even see those with the naked eye. They're only showing up here on camera. Another thing I'd like to note about this camera is the battery situation. I like that it's small and it takes 4 AA batteries, but I noticed the low battery indicator here was on, and it looks like it's at the halfway point, or at least showing that it's low. During the test period, this camera took 66 photos and 66 30-second videos, and I feel like the battery should have held up a little bit better than that. But overall, and especially for the price, this is a decent little camera that just might be mini enough for you. As always, the links to the items we talk about are in the description below. Guys, get yourself some killer mountain buck gear. Do me a favor, hook me up and hit subscribe. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and we'll see you on the next one.